Okay, so let's get going. Let's start with our feet parallel to each other. Just giving yourself that a little extra attention to detail. Even spread your toes. See if that looks good. Do each one of the toes separate individually, or is it like a clump of one toe? So I know it's wintertime and it's cold, but your toes still are a part of this whole process. If you can't see them, can you feel them? If you can't feel them, we've got some problems also. So notice your toes and notice the spacing in between. Standing there nice and tall, bring your shoulders up, back, and around. And let's just stand and just give ourselves some attention to just our own space. Big deep breath. You can exhale, feel your glutes just kind of ease, feel your belly soften. Feel your rib cage, just give that nice lateral movement. Remember, kind of after the age of 5, a couple of things happen. One, we get more tense because we go to school very often and our body holds stuff in. And then after that, we tend to, especially for females, we're tending to this battle of belly and pulling our belly in. That puts pressure into the internal organs, artificially presses down on our bladder and our diaphragm and our psoas in the backside, and kind of changing our body position. Breathe and restore yourself. One more breath, just nice, long, slow, and deep. And then let's add those arms, just nice out wide, palms facing down, just to feel that stretch. Maybe you can feel it into your thumb. Palms come together. Exhale. Inhale, look up as it's comfortable, reach up. Exhale, take your hands down. We're just going to do that 3 or 4 more times. Inhale, up. Finish the inhale, exhale. Finish the exhale, inhale. Finish it, exhale. And again. It's real easy to jump to the next position because you know it's coming, and you might see me and you might see I'm finishing first. Not competition, it's just do your breath. You know we're going to do now 2 more, and I'm not going to jump ahead to the end. Exhale. You're not going to miss anything. And if you accidentally did 1 more, that's totally fine. If you accidentally did 4, whoa, what a crime. Inhale, last one for me. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, reach up. This time, exhale, let's dive forward. Hands to the ground. Chin towards your sternum, look back towards your knees. Breathing. Notice my knees are nice and at ease. I'm intentionally not straightening my whole leg out. And then I'm going to slide my hands up, keep my knees the same. Flexion. If you want to have your legs straighter or more bent, that's up to you. If you want to have a chair out in front of you, that's fine as well. Lift the chest. And then nod. So we're going to maintain this position for our head nodding. If this is too much, you can take your hands up a little bit higher, or you can even stand up all the way. Remember, we're flossing that nerve. Ideally, you allow yourself to fully inhale and fully exhale. It is not set up exactly in line with your movement. One more time, drop that chin into your chest. Look up, extend up, and exhale, hands down. Inhale, take your arms up, overhead reach. Hinge, dive forward, hands down. Inhale, slide your hands up your shins. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale and sweep up. Exhale and through. Let's do 3 more. Again, don't worry so much about if you're ahead of me or slightly behind me, or if you miss a step, or if you miss a breath. Just find that movement. Ease into the flow of the movement. 2 more. Inhale. Hinge to exhale. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale. Fold that belly and fold. Inhale. Sweep up. Exhale. Once more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold back in, hands to the ground, knees come back, toes pointed back, Core curled under, going into cat-cow. Exhale. Inhale. Tailbone pulls, belly draws in, rib cage flares, head falls. Tailbone lifts, rib cage drops, sternum comes forward, head lifts. Begin and end the movement with the pelvis. Let the head kind of be the rider. Breathing. Breathe, hold. Last time, pull the belly in. And then sit back into your heels. Breathe, just reach out nice and long. Child's pose, reach those arms forward. Inhale, walk your hands about halfway in or so. Take your right arm up and take your right arm down. We'll alternate. Take your left arm up. Take your left arm down. Look up to your right shoulder first. Sweep that right arm up. Don't worry about how far it goes right now. Look over your left shoulder. And then exhale. Inhale, reaching to your right. Again, it doesn't so much matter how fast you're going. Don't race your breath though. If you feel very in control, then go slower, maybe go a little bit faster. If you feel like you're just getting through the movement, go a little slower. Inhale. Are your eyes moving too? Or is it just your body just reacting? One more time, each side, reach up. And then back down. And look over left. And then come back down. Inhale, shift forward all the way to your belly. Breathe. Make a pillow out of both of your hands. Place your head on your hands. Make sure you're not lifted up too much, but you're elongated in the neck and back. Bring up your right foot and back down. Bring up your left foot. I'm not rolling my upper back very much. Bring up my right foot and back down. Bring up my left foot and back down. If you want to go higher, bring up my right foot and back down. Bring up my left foot and back down. Breathing. Or you can just do a little less. Bring up and just take the hip off the ground. Bring up and back down. One more time each side. Good, and just lay there for a couple of breaths. Neck nice and long, chin towards your sternum, head on your hands. Inhale, come up onto your forearms. Bring your right knee up like an H, head and chest up. Breathing, just lengthen. Feel that deep inner thigh. Lift that chest up. Let the body settle or sink into that inner hip. Breathe deeply as to affect change deep in the inner hip. Slide your right leg back in. Let's bring the left knee up to that same H position. So that deep inner thigh, really important as it touches the inside of the pelvis. Connected into the deep core muscles, the pelvic floor. Watch that the head isn't slumping into the shoulder, but you're pressing the ground down to lift yourself up. Fully breathe to your rib cage. And it's not about how fast you breathe, even though that matters. It's finding the length of your breath. And then slide your left leg back. Let's bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Press yourself back into the child's pose. Get nice and long. Inhale, come up to all fours, round the back. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Exhale, sit your bottom back towards your heels, roll yourself into a nice little ball. Good. From that nice little ball, take your left hand, press it into the inside of your left thigh, and bring your right hand up. Now, if your heels are all the way on the ground, great. If your heels are off, that's totally fine as well. Exhale down. Let the weight of your right arm press into your right thigh and rotate to your left. Reach as you push into the right hand, reach through the left and lower down. Now let your hands drop to the floor. Open your hands wide. Let the weight of your body drop into your elbows. And just kind of feel that stretch, deep inner thigh. Shift your weight back and let's do some hip circles. Drop those knees, circle those knees around. Now you may notice one kind of hip wants to open more. Can you find balance between the two? And let's go the other direction. Circle around. Good, and let's bring those knees to the ground. Grab your block if you'd like. And let's sit on the block. So we've moved the feet around. We've moved the hips around. So let's find some elongation to the front of the shin. And we're going to find some elongation to the forearms as well. If you don't have a block, you can sit on your bolster. You can sit on your roller, whatever works for you, a pillow. You can sit back into a chair if you want. But I want this right here, this full flexion or full extension of the top of the foot. Breathing. It actually helps to relax the bottom of the foot, even though you might feel there's tension in that shin. So the higher you go up, like if I sit on the very height of my block, I'm going to be up out of my hips. So I've tilted the block so I'm on the high side here, and then I'm just sitting on the top of that block. Because it's a spongy block, it's swishing down a little bit, that's fine. And just sit nice and tall. Good. And then just as you can, just take your knuckles of your right hand, start about at the bottom of your heel and press to the big toe. So I'm just dragging my knuckles down the bottom of my foot towards my big toe. And then I'm moving my hand to the outside edge or the lateral arch of my foot, and then moving back towards the medial side of my foot, inner side of my arch. And then I'm going to do the other side. So even though you can't see it, I'm starting at the innermost part of my left foot, and I'm rolling to the outer part of my left foot. My feet are down, and I'm rolling my knuckles down the bottom of my foot. It's a really nice way to stretch that plantar fascia. And then we're going to take both thumbs and go to a shearing so that you're going across the muscular skeletal, the tissue of the foot. Again, one more pass there, back. Again, just taking my thumbs and I'm just going across my foot. And for some of you, this feels great. And for others, this may not be the best. Good. And then I'm just going to wiggle each one of my toes. And then let's take that right foot forward. I just moved my roller back. So I'm just sitting with my right knee up and my left foot underneath me. And I'm using the block to get me out of the ground. Now you can turn the block any way you need to have more base of support. Body's nice and tall, chest is lifted. Take your left hand and rotate towards your right leg. And breathe. Inhale, come center. Good. And then take your right hand, take it to the inside, press outward slightly. Your knee's not going to drop, press outward, and then rotate towards your left shoulder. Keep your torso tall. Inhale and come center. Let's move. Let's shift out of your right foot and then into your left. Now, again, if this is too low, bring yourself up higher, get a different position to be in. So if this is too much flexion for the knee, you're up higher. You can smooth that block to one of the higher edges, or get more pillows or more blanket, or sit in a chair if you can and step your foot underneath the chair. Sitting nice and tall, take your right hand, hold your left knee and rotate. I'm going to keep my head facing forward just for sound. I think that's a better sound. But you could turn your head. Breathing. Notice I don't really have a lot of weight on this back hand. I'm not trying to lean back there. I'm trying to keep my posture tall. And then in from center. Take my left hand to the inside of my left leg and rotate towards my right. Nice and tall again. Open up this diagonal rotation. And then back to center. All right. Go ahead and take that block out from underneath you as you can. Re-extend that right knee and take your legs out. Now, I appreciate the fact that some of you, this bothers your knee just a tiny bit, or maybe a lot. That wasn't very fun. So give yourself the opportunity to move in ways that will bend that knee well. So make sure you work your way up, and just sitting nice and tall now on your body. If you want to sit with something underneath your hips like your roller, go ahead and do so. And just kind of move your legs so we can get those ankles, shins, and knees just kind of feeling a little bit better. And let's move that block. Let's bring our hips to our heels, rolling yourself down, laying back on your back, head back, shoulders back, hips level, heels within the width of the hip. And just breathing. Let's begin the drop to the right and just hold that drop to the right. Drop to the right. If you go too low, you might get some cramping in the hamstring. Bring your knees up. Take your right foot over the top of your left knee and drop again to the right. Now you're going to get a little bit more weight on the top of that left leg, maybe a little bit more rotation in the top of that inside of that right leg. And just allow the weight of the leg to go down. Let the gravity take over. So you're not trying to press your legs down here, except for this top leg on the bottom leg. And then bring those knees up, unlace the right, and then let's take both legs to the left. Again, it's a little bit more of an easier motion. I am still getting this stretch. You can feel this movement in the upper part of the right side, a little bit in the inner thigh and the rotation of the left hip. So this is your kind of your first set variation. And then let's bring the knees up. Just take the left ankle, place it over the top, and go right back down again. Now, again, you kind of have to readjust a little bit to where like the foot will roll to the edge. You may have to move your foot towards your right side or towards the left a little bit to find the right position so your body just accepts the rotation over. And again, you're going to have this big, a little bit more opening in your right hip. And then you've got some movement in your inside of your left hip, which is really good. Moving those insides of the hips can be more challenging than the outside very often, and also neglected. And then bring those knees back up. Unlace that right knee, bring the right and the left. Bring the right knee into the chest, hug that right knee in from underneath the knee as to not totally press in, because we already did a lot of pressure on the top of that right knee. Pull that right knee in. Extend the left leg out now. Try to keep the left leg active. Get long through the neck. So don't just let your head stay there. Think about reaching the crown of the head away from the heel of the foot. Get long. And then lift the chest up towards the thigh. So I'm not bringing my head really into my chest as much as I can. I'm just trying to bring my chest to my thigh to my chest. Breathing, keep reaching through your left foot. Inhale, lower back. Adding on, bring your right leg toward the sky. Now, this is where if you need a strap, grab that strap or just let the leg be in this kind of more extended passive way of stretching. Breathing, push that right heel up, press that left heel out. Bend the right knee into the chest. Let's take that right knee across the midline of the body, but not quite to the ground. If you want to have a little bit more control, place the right foot on the the left thigh. You want a little more gravitational pull. Hold. Breathing. Inhale, bring the right knee in and place the right foot on the ground. Pause. Just let that whole side settle for a second. The shoulders out from underneath you. Let's slide the left foot in. Let's bring the left knee all the way into the chest, and we'll start again on the left side, just hugging that left knee into the body, making sure as you bring that left knee in, you're not just pressing the top, it may or may not bother you, but it could be a better intentional way to hold the leg underneath than on top. Breathing. And now extend the right leg. So we're just adding on by extending the right leg. Still pulling without getting into our shoulders, getting long in our neck so we're not crunching in. Slide the right foot back in, extend that left leg up, get nice and long. As you extend up, also thinking the second direction is down. Where traditional stretching is different from more yoga practice of stretching is in the work of the two directions. Where stretching tends to be like, let's pull the foot towards the head, let's get the leg to go long. And in more yogic stretching, more odd, more balancing the heat and the cool, the hot, the strength and the ease, we're reaching and we're settling the hips simultaneously. This is going to pull against the joints and then extend the right leg out. Ooh, that's long stretch. That's much more effort. Keep long in the neck. Watch those shoulders. And as you can, lift that head up again. Bend that knee. Lower the head back down. And let's take the left leg over the center line of the body. Now, sometimes we overstretch these outer glutes. So give yourself the option to do less maybe, or just not use the hand. Just let the weight of the body do the work instead of coming into the stretch. I know that I tend to get into my hips, but sometimes I need to just let it go and just let the work happen on its own. Not everything has to be so intense. And then inhale, bring yourself back in. Let's bring the left knee back to where we started, right knee back to where we started, to let everything just kind of settle back in. And then let's go right knee and left knee into the chest. Nice big hug. Let's do a full back rotation. Just moving my block out of the way. I'm going to lower my right foot, shift my right hip all the way almost to where my left hip was, and then drop both knees to my right. This helps me to stack my hips, use my upper arms to lift my back out of the way and to lay back. Nice deep breath. Big belly, full of breath. Settle. So if you saw the progression today, we moved upright to each movement, added in some level of flexion extension. Then we got to the feet and we allowed the feet, the knees, the hips to start moving. So feet, knees, then hips. And then full body rotation from the seated position as well from the lying down position. Inhale, bring both knees up. You'll obviously be offline. And then bring your hips back to center. And then lift your right knee up, really. Shift your weight off to your right and then lower both legs to your left. And then get that full back rotation. My best is kind of when I do some nice forward and back motions, and then I do some rotations. Really just makes my body feel great. It's like I can breathe better and then therefore move better. And then if I can move better, I can feel better. I feel better, then rule the world. Settle right shoulder. Breathe across the diagonal of the body from the left hip to the right rib. And then release. Bring that right knee back up into the chest. Just let yourself fall back into position. Feet down, hips back into center. And then let's extend the legs all the way out. Reach the arms all the way overhead. Big X. Nice and long. Feel that underneath the armpits. Feel that opening at the top of the hips, reaching through the ankles, and then relax the upper body. Bring the right knee up only. Take the right leg across. We're going to do a quarter roll on each side and down. Bring your left knee up to the body. Bring your left knee across. And then back down. You can feel that stretch even up into the armpit. As you can, pick your head up. Then reach across the body. And back down. Pick your head up and reach across the body. And roll back. Nice and long. Good. Walk your feet in. Bring yourself to your right side and bring yourself into all fours. Good. From all fours, sit your butt back to your heels and just pause there. Feel that stretch in your toes. Breathing, look forward to extend the back and let's get into a downward facing dog. Breathe now. How does that length feel in your legs? You can walk your little dog for a little bit. Drop your heel, keep your tailbone lifted. Breathe and try not to shift into your hips too much. And then let's pause up on your toes and then settle over the arches of the feet. Breathe. Inhale, look forward, drop your knees to the ground as you'd like, lift your chest up for the up stretch. Exhale, shift back, bring the right foot up to the hands, get long, breathe, and take both arms up to reach. Feel that nice long length, tighten up your glute a little bit as you lift the chest up. Exhale, circle around, curl that back toe, come into the long lunge. Again, take both arms up over your head, reach. Exhale. Circle the arms around, step your left foot forward, both legs come together, reach to lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, open up. Exhale and dive. Inhale, step back to downward facing dog. Exhale, inhale, drop into your knees. Drop your hips, lift your chest. Exhale, press back to the downward facing dog. Hold that downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your left foot up to your hand, drop your right knee. Breathe, take both arms up and overhead. Get long. Tighten up the right glute as both arms reach up. Circle both arms around. Bring that back knee up. Breathe, and as you can, take both arms, whoop, whoop, back and up. Back to the ground for me. Take both arms up, nice and long. Breathe. Circle both arms around and step forward. Big, long extension. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, left leg back, which makes the right leg go forward. Drop your left knee. Take both arms up. Exhale, both arms down. Sit back into child's pose. Extended arms, head stays high. Inhale, shift forward into the up stretch. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Head down, neck long. Legs extended as best you can. Bend the knees. Step or walk your feet all the way up to your hands. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, down. Inhale, circle up. Exhale and dive. Right leg steps back to the lunge. Nice and long. Find the lunge. Find the space in the lunge first. Breathing. Inhale, high lunge. Breathing. Circle around. Hands on the ground. Drop your back knee. Inhale to lengthen. Right glute tight. Breathing. Feel that opening in the front of the hip. Not so much that we get into the psoas. Feeling it in the back or anything. Lift that chest. Circle those arms around. Step your left leg back. Sit again back into a variation of child's pose. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring those feet inside the hip width. Watch that the knees don't cave. Get long. Up on your toes. Bend your knees. Step or walk your feet to your hands. Sweep up. Exhale through. Inhale up. Exhale through one more time. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to your sternum. Left leg steps back. Reach up. And take your arms up and overhead reach. Hinge forward, nice wide edge. Breathing and just move the inside of the hip. So you're shifting the weight to your right foot or your right hip, shifting the weight to your left. No real bend in the knees. Keep the back long, head forward, not down. If you can't reach the ground, you should have a block underneath your hands. Breathing and then hold. Walk your hands a little further out in front of your mat, head down, wide angle, downward facing dog. And now walk your hands under, bend your right knee, slide over, bend your left knee, back to your right, back to your left. Feel that beautiful stretch. Watch the foot that it's not rolling into the arch. Open those toes. Breathing. And then all the way to your left. Get long. Breathing. Lift that left foot. Come back into the plank position. Head forward, chest forward. Drop your knees. And again, sit back to child's pose. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Bring yourself up. Now, as you can, sitting back. If you can, no block. Sit as best you can. Just 4 more deep breaths. I love it when my breath just lets go. I first start breathing, sometimes I feel tense in one breath, then the second breath releases. And then all of a sudden, all the breaths just let go. Sweep the feet out from underneath you. Bring the feet in front. Reposition yourself on your mat so your toes are towards the top edge of your mat. And let's roll ourselves back. Head back, shoulders back, arms down. Kind of get to know the floor with your head, shoulders. Extend your legs out as it's comfortable. Ideally, your feet are about mat's width or even off the mat. This kind of lets your hips open up a little bit easier. There's a point of no return if it's too wide and a point that's kind of, if it's too closed up, it can be kind of narrow. Your feet won't drop out. Your hips won't soften. And just settle back. We got about another 3 or 4 breaths, long, slow, and deep. You can let the tongue come off the roof of your mouth if you're finding it there. Big breath. I wish there's a little cough button I could put on. Sometimes when you breathe in deep, your leg back, and yeah, anyway. Take a nice deep breath, slide your hands up over your head. Keep your chin neck long, chin slightly settled into your sternum. Exhale. Slide your right and left feet in. Bring your right or left hand back down. So as you roll, you can roll to the one side. Just lay on your one side. Use your top arm, bring yourself up. Sitting on your block if you'd like. Coming into a nice seated position. Something about starting in a standing position, ending in a seated position that feels good. Nice and long. Create length in your spine. Maybe tip back a little bit into the pelvis. Drop your chin then into your sternum. Bring your palms to your center. Whatever's going on, you'll get to. Whatever your needs are, there are resources. Give yourself the confidence that you will find those things. You will let some things go. You will let today be a renewal of mercies, gentle and tender. Inhale, take your arms up, overhead reach. Exhale down. Inhale, reach. Exhale down. One more time. Reach wide and overhead. And exhale. And